They called him the nicotine killer. But no one knew it, not for years, not until wife number 4 started to get sick. His name was Thomas Avery. To everyone else, Thomas was the picture of a perfect man. Charming, quiet, the kind of guy who held doors open and remembered birthdays. He volunteered at church, donated to the food drive, even mowed his elderly neighbor's lawn every Sunday morning. The kind of man you'd trust immediately. The kind of man you'd never suspect was hiding something darker than death itself. Thomas had been married 3 times before, each wife beautiful in her own way, kind, devoted, and according to him, tragically unlucky. The first one, Laura, died after just 2 years of marriage, a mysterious heart condition, the doctors said. The second, Margaret, passed not long after, her lungs filled with fluid for no clear reason. And the third, Anne, fell sick so suddenly that her family barely had time to say goodbye. Each time, Thomas was heartbroken. Each time, the townspeople mourned with him. And each time, he moved away to start fresh. No one saw the pattern, because no one wanted to believe a man like him could be capable of that kind of evil. Years later, Thomas remarried, again. Her name was Catherine Hale, wife number 4. Catherine wasn't like the others. She was independent, intelligent, the daughter of a doctor, the CEO of a small wellness company. She didn't drink much, didn't smoke, and took meticulous care of her health. When she met Thomas, she told friends he was different, gentle, grounded, a good man. And for a while, he was. Or at least, he played the part. The first signs came slowly. Catherine began waking up with headaches, then nausea. She thought it was just exhaustion from work until the symptoms got worse. Her heart raced uncontrollably. Her hands shook. Sometimes she couldn't catch her breath. Doctors told her it was anxiety, maybe a thyroid issue. But Catherine knew her body better than that. Something was wrong. One night, after nearly fainting at dinner, she decided she'd had enough. Without telling Thomas, she booked a flight to the city and checked herself into one of the best hospitals in the country. She wanted full tests, blood work, toxicology, everything. What the doctors found made their blood run cold. Her nicotine levels were off the charts. But Catherine had never smoked a day in her life. The doctors questioned her diet, her environment, even her perfume. But nothing explained it. Catherine started to think about the last few months. Every cup of coffee Thomas made for her, every smoothie he insisted she drink in the morning, every special tea he brewed at night. She didn't want to believe it, but deep down, she knew. She called her father that same night. He told her to stop eating or drinking anything from her house. Then he told her something that made her stomach twist. "Catherine," he said, "did you know all 3 of his previous wives died?" The next morning, Catherine went to the police. She brought the test results, the timeline, everything she could remember. Investigators took her seriously, especially after they saw the toxicology report. They arranged a quiet surveillance operation around Thomas's home. Days later, detectives found several bottles of liquid nicotine hidden in his garage, the kind used for e-cigarettes, but in concentrations powerful enough to kill. When confronted, Thomas claimed it was for a friend's business, but then they checked his bank statements. He'd bought the same liquid from multiple stores, under multiple names for years. When they asked why, he said nothing, just sat there, hands folded, and smiled. The case didn't end there. The police went further. They exhumed his previous wives, each one. and every single one tested positive for nicotine poisoning. It was the perfect crime, or so he thought. Nicotine in small doses mimics natural illness. It raises the heart rate, damages the lungs, and shuts down the nervous system without leaving obvious traces. Thomas had been slowly poisoning his wives for years, right under everyone's nose, using something as ordinary as coffee, tea, or a nightly glass of wine. And he would have gotten away with it again if Catherine hadn't fought back.
In court, he sat calmly as prosecutors laid out everything: the pattern, the timing, the money he collected after each wife's death, life insurance, inheritance, the quiet fortune built on blood and deception. The press called him the nicotine killer. He never denied it. In fact, during sentencing, when the judge asked him if he had anything to say, he looked up and said, "They were all just too fragile." Today, Thomas Avery is serving life in prison without parole, and Catherine, the one who lived, spends her time traveling and speaking at survivor events, warning others about the dangers of blind trust. She still has nightmares. Sometimes she swears she can still smell tobacco when she walks past her kitchen counter, even though she's never allowed another cigarette, vape, or drop of nicotine in her home again. Evil doesn't always come with a knife in its hand or a gun in its pocket. Sometimes it comes with a smile, a steady voice, and a cup of tea. So, the next time someone offers you a drink, look closely at the person pouring it, because you never know what's really in it. If this story sent chills down your spine, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life horror stories every week, because the most terrifying monsters are often the ones sitting right beside you.